Hi children, I'm your Bernie Miss. In this video, we are going to see the continuation of the lesson Acids, Bases and Salts for 9th Standard, Unit 14. And today we are going to concentrate on bases. We're going to start with bases. Karangal. Let's see what it is. What are bases? According to Arrhenius theory, we already saw children, even for acids also, Arrhenius gave a theory. Acids are those substances which will give hydrogen ions when it is dissolved in water. But here, bases, according to Arrhenius theory, what does it say? Bases are substances that ionize in water to form hydroxyl ions. See the difference here? It is the hydroxyl ions, OH minus ions. Okay, when they are, these bases are substances that ionize in water. What is ionization? Converting into charged particles. Okay, so that is what is called as ionization. So ionize in water. Water means they become charged particles in water and they form hydroxyl ions. So when they give hydroxyl ions, then they are called as bases according to Arrhenius. Okay, there are some metallic oxides. There are another example. There are some metal oxides. Okay, metal with oxygen. So it is called as metal oxides which give salt and water on reaction with acids. What is he saying here? There are some metal oxides. Okay, metal oxide. Metal na Tamil உலோகங்கள். ஓகே உலோகங்களோட ஆக்சிஜனும் இணைந்திருந்தா இது அதை என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா உலோக ஆக்சைடுகள் சொல்வாங்க. Okay, so metal oxides also, they will also give salt and water when they react with acids. So acidகளோடு வினை புரியும் போது இந்த metal oxides உலோக ஆக்சைடுகள் என்ன கொடுக்குமா? Salt and water. Okay, so therefore even metal oxides are called as bases. Metal oxides are also called as bases. Okay, next let's go on to this. So bases that are soluble in water. Next point children. See the bases that are soluble in water. Enna bases. Okay, the bases which are soluble in water. நீர்ல வந்து கரையும். Okay, சில பேஸ்க்கு என்ன பண்ணும்? நீர்ல கரையும். It will be dissolved. It will dissolve in water. Okay, so that are soluble in water are called alkalis. What are they called, children? They are called as alkalis. See the special name, alkalis. Alkalis means what? What is alkali? What is an alkali? An alkali is a base. An alkali என்றது என்னது? ஒரு alkali என்பது ஒரு base, ஒரு காரம். ஆனால் என்ன வித்தியாசம்னா it will dissolve in water. A base which dissolves in water, bases that is soluble in water are called alkalis. Bases that are soluble in water are called alkalis. Okay, are you clear children? Okay, then a base reacts with an acid to give salt and water only. So, a base, what does it do? A base will react with an acid. Like we saw previously, acid will react with base to form salt and water. Same way, a base reacts with acid to give salt and water only. And see the equation given here. What's the equation given here? Base plus acid gives salt plus water. ஒரு பேஸும் ஒரு ஆசிடும் react பண்ணும்போது when it is undergoing reaction, then it will give salt and water. Okay, don't forget children. Next, for example, what's given here? For example, zinc oxide, ZnO. So zinc oxide reacts with HCl to give salt, zinc chloride and water. So what's given here children? For example, zinc oxide. There is zinc oxide, here you have zinc oxide. For example, zinc oxide, ZnO. It's a metallic oxide, okay? Zinc oxide reacts with HCl. What is HCl? HCl is an acid, okay? To give salt, zinc chloride and water. Okay, that's the equation given here. See, we're going to study the equation. Let's see what about the equation. Zinc oxide. Oh, children, zinc oxide, ZnO. Okay, ZnO means zinc oxide. What is this S given, children? What is this S stand for? S is solid. The zinc oxide is a solid. Okay, plus two molecules of hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid. Aqueous solution. See the word AQ is given here in brackets. Okay, the AQ means, what is the meaning of AQ? AQ means aqueous solution. It is in water. So acid in water. Okay, so when these two react, வினை புரியும் போது எது ரெண்டும் ZnO ZnO zinc oxide plus 2HCl. வினை புரியும் போது when it reacts, what does it give, children? It gives the salt called zinc chloride. What's the name of the salt, children? Zinc chloride. ZnCl2 plus water. Okay, see, this is a salt, this is salt. Zinc chloride is a salt and you get water. Okay, that's what is given. So zinc oxide is a base because it reacts with an acid to form salt and water. Do you understand? Okay. Then let's go on, children. The next paragraph, what is given here? Similarly, sodium hydroxide. See, the formula is given here, sodium hydroxide. அதோட மூலக்கூறு வாய்ப்பாடு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க பத்தியா? Sodium hydroxide ionizes. Sodium hydroxide ionizes in water. Sodium hydroxide ionizes in water to give hydroxyl ions and thus get dissolved in water. So it is an alkali. Wow. Now what are they saying is, now sodium hydroxide is an alkali. Alkali enna nama paathom illaya? Alkali means it's a base. It's a base which dissolves in water. Okay, so how does it dissolve in water? This sodium hydroxide, NaOH, the sodium hydroxide, it will ionize. When you put it in water, see the word, see here, AQ. Okay, so when sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, it gives hydroxyl. This is called hydroxyl ions. AQ, hydroxyl ions, and sodium Na plus ions. Na plus. See, there is a split going on like this. This compound is a chargeless compound. It's a it's common. Okay, it doesn't have any charge. No plus charge, no negative charge. நடுநிலையான ஒரு சேர்மம். No resultant charge. So when it is dissolved in water, this base, it will give out Na plus ions and OH minus ions into two charge particles. One will be positive and the other one will be negative. So this is a positive charge particle and this is a negative charge particle. Okay, actually NaOH is a neutral compound. NaOH is a neutral compound. Okay, so when it ionizes in water, it gives Na plus and OH minus. Especially since it is a base, it will form OH minus. Okay, alright, then let's go on to next one. Bases contain one or more, what does it say here? Bases contain one or more replaceable oxide or hydroxyl ions. So what are bases? Bases contain one or more replaceable oxide or hydroxyl ions in solution. So bases enna pannum? It will give, in solution, it will give one or more, ஒன்றோ அல்லது அதற்கு மேலே என்னது ரீப்ளேசபிள் இடப்பயிற்சி செய்யத்தக்க ஆக்சைடுகள் அல்லது ஹைட்ராக்சில் அயனிகளை கொடுக்க வல்லது. இது bases. So bases contain, what does it contain, children? A base will contain one or more replaceable oxide or hydroxyl ions in solution. Okay, so next let's go on to this. So table 14.3 and list. Now we're going to study about the tables after that. Now we are going to first read the do you know portion. What is it, children? Do you know portion. So what is it given here? Now I am going to highlight it for you and I am going to explain it for you. So what is it given? All alkalis are bases, but not all bases are alkalis. Okay, all alkalis, எல்லா alkalis என்ன சொல்றாங்க? Bases. All the alkalis are bases, but not all bases. So all bases are not alkalis. Okay, all alkalis is a small group. Base குள்ள இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு small group, ஒரு சின்ன group. Okay, so all the bases, base is ஒரு பெரிய group. Okay, அதுல நிறைய compounds, நிறைய bases இருக்கும். ஆனா அதுல சில bases வந்து waterல dissolve ஆகும். They are called as alkalis. Okay, alkalis are those bases which will dissolve in water. Okay, now I'll show you a picture for you to understand. See here, children. And can you see here? Here, this picture. Can you see? I have drawn a box for you here. You can see the box. This box, this pink color box is denoting base. So all are base. Even here also, everything is a base. Okay, and A stands for alkalis. A stands for alkalis. So what do you understand? இந்த படத்துல இருந்து உங்களுக்கு என்ன புரியுது? What do you understand, children? From this picture, what do you understand? You understand that alkali is a part of a base. Alkalis என்பது பேஸோட ஒரு 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 பகுதி. அதாவது பேஸ்கள் வந்து when the bases காரங்கள் காரங்கள் தண்ணியில் நீரில் கரைஞ்சு அவர்களை ஆல்கலி சொல்கிறோம். சரியா? So all alkalis, what do you say, children? All alkalis are base. All alkalis are base, but all bases are not alkalis. பாருங்க, அந்த சிகப்பு போர்ஷனில் அந்த பிங்க் கலர் போர்ஷனில் இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் பேசஸ். ஏல இருக்கிறதும் பேஸ் தான். ஆனால் ஆல்கலிஸ்ன்றது என்னது? எல்லா ஆல்கலியும் பேஸ். ஆனால் எல்லா பேஸும் ஆல்கலி கிடையாது. ஓகே, யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட், சில்ட்ரன்? ஓகே, I hope you understood this. Let's go on. Let's go on to this. I'm sorry. Let's go on. Ions formed by bases in water. Now we are going to see our table 14.3. Ions formed by bases in water. So bases, the bases are என்ன ions? Water போட்டோம்னா what are the ions they will form? That's what we are going to see here. So what are the ions? The first one, calcium oxide. Calcium oxide molecular formula is CaO. What are the ions formed? When you put it in water, when you dissolve it in water, it will give calcium ions. See the ion? Calcium ion and then oxide ions. What is it, children? Oxide ions. Ca2 plus and O2 minus. Equally distribute out. Separate out. This is a neutral compound. See, calcium oxide is a neutral. In the CaO, this is a neutral compound. It's a neutral compound. Okay, so when it undergoes ionization, okay, dissociation, splitting, so when it undergoes dissociation or splitting, they will form ions equally, one positive side and negative side, equally separate out. So inge enna nadakudinga? CaO will separate into Ca2 plus and O2 minus. What is it? Ca2 plus and O2 minus. Ca2 plus is called as calcium ions and O2 minus is called oxide ions. Okay, so number of replaceable hydroxyl ions. General number of replaceable hydroxyl ions is given, but actually here we don't have any hydroxyl. In the first picture hydroxyl, only oxide ions are coming. Okay, so how many oxides you are getting? Only one. So that is correct. So only one oxide ion is given out. Okay, then let's go on to the second one. What's the second one? Sodium oxide. What is the second one, children? Sodium oxide. This sodium oxide, the molecular formula is Na2O. That's the formula, Na2O. Okay, then what are the ions formed? See how many Na are there? Na எத்தனை atoms இருக்கு? 2 atoms இருக்கு. In the formula, how many atoms? In this formula, how many sodium atoms are there? Na stands for sodium. Okay, Na stands for sodium. Okay, in the sodium, let me highlight it, children. Let me make it a little bigger so that you can see clearly. Alright, let's go on. So the second one, that is sodium oxide. Sodium oxide, and I want you to see the last column also. Alright, so sodium oxide. The sodium oxide, Na2O, the formula is Na2O, and you have 2 sodium, so you will get 2 Na plus. Appa 2 Na ion. Okay, so 2 charged particles of sodium will come out. So 2, you have to write in front in the book la edudala, adala neenga eludhikonga unga book la. Okay, so 2 Na plus and O2 minus. Okay, O2 minus. How many replaceable oxides are given? Only 1. Okay, alright, then we have potassium hydroxide. Formula for potassium hydroxide is KOH. K stands for potassium and OH stands for hydroxide. In ions form K plus OH minus. Okay, how many hydroxyl ions? In hydroxyl, you see you are getting a OH minus here. So how many hydroxyl ions you are getting? 1. Okay, next we have calcium hydroxide. CaOH twice. என்ன சொல்வீங்க? CaOH twice. 2 முறை hydroxyl ions. The formula is like that, children, because the valency of calcium is 2. கால்சியத்தோட வேலன்சி வந்து என்ன 2. Okay, so valency of calcium is 2, so therefore it will combine with 2 hydroxide group. Okay, so that's why you write CaOH twice. In the 2 bracket வெளியே இருக்கு பார்த்தீங்களா, so you have to say twice, இருமுறை. So CaOH twice. This is the formula for calcium hydroxide. And then what is it? What are the ions form? You get 2 calcium, you get Ca2 plus. Okay, calcium, and the ion is Ca2 plus, and then you get 2 OH minus. Okay, so in detail we will be studying later about the charged particles. And then you have the replaceable hydroxyl ion 2. See, I have done some corrections, children, you can copy it in your book. And then you have the last one, aluminium hydroxide. What is it, children? Aluminium hydroxide. And what is the formula for aluminium hydroxide? AlOH thrice. The valency of aluminium is 3. So aluminium is combined with 3 hydroxide groups. So you will say as AlOH thrice. AlOH thrice in solar. Okay, that's how you say. Okay, so this is called aluminium hydroxide. And the ions formed will be Al3 plus and OH, because 3 plus has come, so you will get 3 minus also. Another, how will you write? 3 முன்னாடி எடுக்கணும். So 3 OH minus. ஏன்னா OH ஓட charge என்னன்னா minus, ஒரு minus தான். The valency is only minus. Okay, so you cannot write 3 there. Right hand side இங்கே எழுதக்கூடாது. So you have to write it front. Same way here also. பாருங்க, இங்கே எத்தனை OH இருக்கு? 2 hydroxide group இருக்கு. So when it is ionized, you will get 2 hydroxide ions, but you will write the 2 in front. இங்கே மேலே எழுதக்கூடாது. ஓகே, இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே ஆக்சிஜன் எல்லாம் மேலே 2 மைனஸ் இருக்கா? ஏன்னா ஆக்சிஜனோட வேலன்சி 2. ஓகே, ஸோ 2 மைனஸ் சார்ஜ் நீங்கள் மேலேயே எழுதலாம். இங்கேயும் அப்படி, ஆனால் இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே OHக்கு மைனஸ் தான். Okay, ஒரே OH minus, only one charge, one negative charge. So what you will write for 2 negative charge, அப்போ என்ன பண்ண 2 molecules காமிக்கணும். The 2 OH minus, இங்கே 3 OH minus. Okay, so here how many replaceable hydroxyl ions? You have 3 replaceable hydroxyl ions. Okay, children, let's go on. Then you have the classification of bases. The classification of bases, and then it goes on, and I'm going to stop here, and I will continue it in the next video. Thank you, children.